Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
Hey YouTube, Kenny Tony coming at you today with another video. So what we have behind us is the next project that we're going to be working on. So thank you everyone for checking out my channel. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If you like the content that I put out, make sure you share this content as well. So behind us we have a 2004 Yamaha Blaster. Came out, it was super fast, mid-range. One of my friends had one of these when I was back in high school and that thing would fly. My brother and I were kind of riding around our TW200 and he had kind of one of these, and then he ended up going into the YZs and then the 450 and all that, 426 at the time. But we came across a great deal on this right here. I picked this up as a complete machine with problems for $200. All right, everyone. Yeah, we got the YZ 250F project sitting back there, but we're going to take a look at the Blaster real quick and have a quick walk around over what we're going to be doing to it and some ideas. So I picked this up from a Yamaha guy out in Ohio. I was out visiting my parents out in like Parkersburg, West Virginia area. Went over across the bridge and picked this up. My dad did actually for me. 200 bucks. Got this. It was a full machine. So how do you say it's a full machine with no motor? So this was a hybrid that someone had used and they raced. They were kind of hard on it. It has a CR85 motor that I'm going to show you here in a minute. It's kind of in parts, but CR85 motor on it. Has 4 wheels, tires. It has brakes, a front bumper, Nerf bars. Has the OEM like little hill kick guard thing. It is missing the rear bumper right here, so it broke off actually, so we're going to buy a new rear bumper for it, stock, nothing crazy. Handlebars seem to be straight and decent, or maybe not. And something's off with the handlebars. Or is it the steering stem? We're going to figure out which one that's going to be once we get this thing building. We'll start building this thing. First glance, this looks like it's kinked a little bit more right here, but we'll figure out if this is level here or not. We have the DG front bumper on it. It's 4 wheels and tires. They were running 18s in the back. So it has all the plastics here. Doesn't have the headlight. It has the dirt bike style side mounted radiator. So we're going to see what we can do with this thing. It doesn't have a seat. It did have the carb, which is obviously going to need a full rebuild. It didn't have the gas tank, so has no big deal on that either. As it states, it has wheels and tires for right now, so depending on what the budget's going to look like once we get this thing mobile, it's going to decide whether or not we're going to be putting wheels on it or tires on it. I am going to need one rim. So one rim here has some denting in it. We're going to see if we're going to replace that. It holds air, but see that little crease right there? I don't know if it's worth to even try to fix. They're steel wheels. I could actually put a little bead of weld on that and then tap that out, but we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. So I am always running across something and finding some kind of deal. So that is a good thing, a good problem to have when you're doing what I want to be doing with my YouTube channel. So basically what I'm going to be looking at doing with this machine is my plans are to powder coat the front and rear rims silver. Nerf bar silver, front and rear bumper silver. Keep the frame red as it is. Clean up these plastics really good. Maybe put some graphics on it, maybe not. Get the motor working. So the story behind this is the young guy who had it stated that it stopped running, motor locked up. So we have the motor in the building and it's already taken apart and kind of disassembled, so I can kind of narrow it down to what I needed to buy while I was on vacation, so I can start getting this back together and seeing if I'm going to have some kind of compression or some issues and see what's happening. So let's go take a look at that. So the motor was closed. I did open it up, so we have parts sitting out here everywhere, but there isn't too much to these little dirt bike motors like this. So the problem I see here is that the crank bearings are pretty seized up. They move just a slight, but it's enough to cause issues. They said that it kind of locked up on them. All these bearings in the ear ends where the transmission are, they run smooth and they're all good and everything, so there's no issues with any of those. Clutch plates, clutch, basket, all the little hardware, shifting forks, everything is here. Everything looks good. The cylinder has some scratching in it. but I tried my best to buy a hone and hone the cylinder out. The piston took some damage. So the piston right here doesn't have any problems. I mean, it moves freely, and it's a WR 128 part number from Wiseco. As you see, the top isn't moving really much, which is fine, but the crank isn't having any problems with it at all. So we're going to actually just clean that crank up, reuse that crank, and we're going to get a new bearing that goes up here, as well as the piston. It does have a part number on it, so it looks like it was a Wiseco kit. Looks like the part number says 833M04950. So based off that part number, when I have looked, it looks like it has already been bored 1 millimeter over. So, and the damage to the top of it. So we're just going to get a new piston, rings, see if we can get this thing back together and get some compression, and then we're going to worry about then trying to mount it into the frame. So this video is shortly going to be concluded, but that's kind of it. The machine does move. As I stated, it is a complete roller. They have already cut and put some motor mounts in here from where they had it mounted prior. One of the things I really didn't like, though, is they had it just sitting there. It wasn't in any kind of bracketry or any kind of mount. I didn't like that at all. So I want to see about getting this through the, getting this through there. Maybe tapping this for some grease zerks, because it's kind of old and you know how those things go. It did have the, I think, FMF silencer on it. FMF Procore 2 silencer. This is going to be the first two-stroke that I'm going to work on. And the first two-stroke I'm going to get running. So make sure to wish me luck, and we're going to get this project on and rolling, and we're going to do this together like we normally do the other ones. And there's going to be some things, as always, that I don't show on video, but we'll get to it. All right, thank you for checking out this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.